Hi everyone, I'm back. I know I've been gone for a very long time, longer than I really wanted to be, but you know, stuff happens. One thing I want to address is that I did change the name of the channel to Naya Amari because I noticed that when you look up Kylie James in the search engine, a lot of Kylie Jenner pops up, which is understandable because it thinks that you are misspelling her name. I just wanted more of a unique name to make it easier to find me on YouTube. I hope everyone is doing well. I know the quarantine and everything is hard on everyone. I know in my city they are slowly reopening. I heard in Florida that they're just completely reopened. And to be honest, I would really like to be in Florida right now because it is so boring. I actually ended up taking a leave from my 9 to 5. I return on June 1st. I was gonna try and return earlier, but I had some medical things happen and I wanted to make sure that I'm clear to go back to work with no problems. I also am going to return to that 9 to 5 at Schmamazon. I just got a new job. Thank you, universe. It pays a little bit more and it fits in better with my schedule, dancing wise. It also is going to help me because I want to go to school for lashes and nails and eyebrows, like an esthetician maybe. I want to go back to school for something. I don't want to work for someone for the rest of my life, and honestly, you can't dance forever. So yeah, there's that. So today, I think that's everything that I had to update on. But today we're gonna do a story time. Since all the clubs are closed. I'm sorry, it is so hot in here. Today we're gonna do a story time on how I became a stripper. So I would start off by saying that I had a less than desirable childhood. I'm not gonna say that it was like the worst childhood, but it also wasn't the best childhood. We were very poor. A lot of times we went without, and for my sisters it was okay, but for me, I always wanted what the cool kids had. Like, you know, of course the popular kids always had the nice Nikes, the nice Jordans. They would constantly be going on vacation, you know. I kind of always desired that, but there was 5 of us children, and you know, both my parents didn't work. Sorry, I'm just trying to cover that mess over there. I'm so sorry. So yeah, and I also my parents were very, I guess you would say, protective. I don't know, we were not allowed to do pretty much anything. We were not allowed to go out. We were not allowed to go hang out with our friends at the park. We weren't allowed to do anything. So I really didn't like or understand that control. I do understand it now, simply because it was 4 of us girls and we had a little brother, and all of us girls were very close in age. It's understandable now because it can be very dangerous, but at the time I didn't understand it. I didn't appreciate it. So I wanted to move out of my parents' house as soon as possible. And I would say, yeah, around the time of maybe 14, 15, 16, I always knew about stripping. In our town, we have one strip club. Everyone knew about it. And so around that time, that teenage area, I would tell my mom, as soon as I turn 18, I'm gonna be a stripper and I'm gonna move out, because I knew that being a stripper required little to no experience, especially back in the day, little to no experience, and it was a quick way to make a lot of money. So I couldn't wait to turn 18 and strip and move out and all that good stuff. And then I did also have a friend in high school, a senior year, I think it was senior year or junior year, I had two best friends that I always um, hung out with, excuse me, and one ended up, it was weird. Like one girl never came to school, so she ended up going to a she ended up going, I think it was the next year, she ended up going to an alternative school so she could catch up with everything she needed to catch up with. And the other friend, it was rumored that she dropped out and became a stripper at the local strip club. So around this time, I kind of forgot, like, oh yeah, that I had said that I would become a stripper. But then it had reminded me that, you know, when those rumors were going on, I still to this day, I have no idea if that was true or not. But that because she was a little bit older than me as well. In senior year, I would have been 17 and she would have been 18. So she was older than me. And so yeah, it was rumored that she dropped out and she became a stripper at the local strip club here. And I just figured, well, if she could do it, I could do it, you know, like, so fast forward, I graduate. I graduated. My hair is driving me nuts, you guys. My hair is so like long. It's crazy. I'm also like, let me back up a little bit. I'm also like wearing pajamas. Like, these are so cute. Like, anyways, let me like not forget what I'm talking about. I'm horrible at telling stories. I'm all over the place. Okay, so yeah, fast forward, I graduate. I was so excited to be 18 because I have an older brother, a half brother that my father has with another woman, and he, excuse me, he was like party animal. He's a little bit older than me because I have two older sisters, and then this brother's older than my oldest sister, so he's about 4 years older than I am. And so I was super excited to turn 18 because I was like, oh, I'm gonna go party with my brother and go to parties. We were never allowed to party, and none of my other sisters ever cared about partying but me. I think I might have forgotten that I had said that I would be a stripper. I don't know. I turned 18, I started partying, met a boy, and a couple months after I had turned 18, I ended up calling up the strip club, and I said that this hair is driving me nuts. I called them up and I said, hey, I'm looking to audition. What are the requirements? What do I need to bring? And the girl was super sweet, and she said that they take auditions every day, anytime during their business hours, and that to bring, what did she say? She said to bring your ID. She said to bring 2 pairs of underwear, I guess. I don't know. And that you had to be 21 to actually work at this club because it had a full bar. And honestly, that kind of devastated me, but not really, because like I said, I had met a boy and I was all in love with this boy, and for some reason, I don't know, I just wanted to focus on being with this boy. I have no idea. I really wish that I was more in the headspace that I am now at 18. I'm about to be 25. I'm turning 25 in August, and I really hope that we're not on quarantine during then, but whatever. So I really wish that I had the mindset that I do now at 18, because I'm very like focused and driven, and I know what I want to do, and I go out there and I do it, and I don't take anyone else's, you know, bullshit basically. So when they had said that, I was disappointed, but not really, because I had this, you know, this boyfriend, and my grandfather had actually just given me my first car because I got my driver's license. So it was a 1998 Honda Civic. It was a 2-door, nothing special, but to me that was my baby, and I loved it. And there were, like, I could go up to Sacramento, which is an hour away from me, And there are clubs out there that, you know, they're up there in Sacramento, they're full nude, so there's no alcohol. I could have driven an hour to San Francisco. There's so many clubs out there, and they're nude clubs, and you know, there's some alcohol, but there's a lot of nude clubs as well. But for some reason, I had just gotten my driver's license on my 18th birthday. I got my driver's license, and I was so terrified of driving on the freeway. I don't even know why. I really wish that I was not like that, because hold on, my hair. I really wish that I wasn't like that, because I would have driven to either San Francisco or Sacramento to dance at 18. I really wish that I did it at 18, you know. But so that was that. I spent 3 years with this boy, and it really went nowhere. He didn't work. I worked a lot of odd jobs. I eventually got into security, which was like my first real job. I worked at McDonald's when I was 17, but I feel like everyone worked at McDonald's at 17. So yeah, I was working and he wasn't, and it was getting very expensive because he was also a partier. Obviously, like I said, I had met him at a party that I went with my brother. It was my brother's friend. And it was getting very expensive to take care of me and also take care of somebody else. There was a lot of times where I worked 12-hour shifts and he just played his games all day. Just, you know, just, we can have a whole another story time about that if you guys want. But yeah, so yeah, he was a party boy. He liked to go out, and he was a drinker. He was a smoker. He smoked cigarettes, and I was, you know, I was the one providing in the relationship. You know, anytime we went out to do anything, I was the one paying. Anytime he needed anything, I remember one time I took him shopping. I bought him shoes. I just anything this kid wanted, I gave it to him, because it was honestly my first love. And like I said, my parents were very strict, so we were not, even though I did have boyfriends in high school, it is different when you are allowed to did this hair not I need a new straightener, because this hair right, that's not okay. Anyways, go back there. Oh, it's a hole. Anyways, so we were not allowed, like I said, we were not allowed to have boyfriends, even though I did. So we definitely were not allowed to go to boys' houses. So me being 18 and I have a car, I can do whatever I want. So I, you know, spent a lot of time. I got enamored and fell into my first love. So I was very, like, I don't know, very I really focused on him and tried to help him out and try to get him a leg up in the world, which, looking back, I wouldn't do that now. I would not do that now. No. So I began to get fed up with this give kind of relationship, especially I'm the one making all the money and you are literally like, just don't care. You're just content. I had a POF, which is Plenty of Fish profile, and the boyfriend I had at the time knew that I had that profile. And on this profile, I would sometimes go on dates because sometimes I'd want to go out to eat and not have to pay for me and the other person. You know, sometimes I would want to go out to Red Lobster or Outback, somewhere nice that I was not able to afford because I couldn't go to Texas Roadhouse and pay for me and somebody else. So yes, sometimes I would go on these dates. My boyfriend at the time knew. I don't think it was that often that I would go on a date or something like a date, you know. But yeah, I did. So I did end up going on a date with this guy. And I really enjoyed my time. He was very assertive. He was very, like, he knew what he wanted. And that's what I liked. Again, I was at this time I was 20, and this boy was 25, 24, 25. And so he was older, he was more assertive. When we went on the date, he just carried himself very well, but I did really like that. And so we ended the date. I went home to my boyfriend at the time, and I just said like, hey, I really need you to get a job. Like, I really need you to. And to his defense, he did have a job at the time, wasn't paying shit. Like, it wasn't paying him. Like, he literally would get no hours. Like, you need, I'm working full time, I'm working more than full time. I'm working extra shifts. I'm doing 12-hour shifts, 16-hour shifts. I'm doing a lot of work. I really need you to match my efforts. And he said to me, well, his exact words were, well, no one's holding a gun to your head. If you don't like it, you can leave. And then so I said, okay, so I'm gonna leave. And I got with this other guy. So I got with him, and I had mentioned that I had an interest in stripping, but that, you know, the closest strip club to us is 21 and up. And he said, well, I have a friend who, she's a dancer. She lives here in the same town that we live in, and she goes up and she dances in San Francisco. And I think the friend was younger than I was at the time. And he told me that she made a lot of money. And he said, you know, like, basically, if you want, I can go pick, because sometimes he would take her. And he said, if you want, I can ask her if she wants to go work. And because she knows the people, you know, you can audition there. It's a very classy, high scale strip club. And I said, okay. So we ended up picking the girl up and going all the way out to San Francisco to basically audition. She had gotten into some trouble because she hadn't been to her club in months, I guess. And I was nervous already to audition. And so what ended up happening is that I didn't audition that night because I was so nervous and so scared. So basically, yeah, I didn't end up auditioning that night. And basically, we went home. My boyfriend was very disappointed because we had driven all the way out to San Francisco. And I think at the time, what kind of car was it? I think he was driving a BMW at the time. I don't remember. And it was something about the gas. And, you know, he was just very disappointed. And I said, okay, well, let's go. I think it was the next day. I said, let's go back tomorrow. So we ended up going back, and I auditioned. I went in this like orange dress. It was super cute, the orange sundress. And I filled out the paperwork, and there was 2 other girls there. And we were kind of waiting, and the 2 other girls that were there before me had actually ended up getting up to go to the bathroom. That's when the house mom came, and she just grabbed me and she said, oh, we were waiting for those girls to leave because we don't want to hire them, we want to hire you. And I was like, oh wow, okay, you know, very cutthroat, you know. So basically they took me back, and let me see. They took me back. They said, get dressed. We'll come back and check on you. I got dressed in my outfit, which was super cute. Then the house mom came and checked me. She's like, are you ready? I said, yes. They took me to this. They didn't put me on the main stage, which I was so terrified. I was so scared to go on the main stage and perform for, I've never done that before, you know, being on the main stage, you're taking your clothes off and you have to perform. So they took me to a side stage that they had, and she was literally like, you don't have to take anything off. Don't worry about doing any tricks, just be sexy. And the stage that they took me to did have poles. It was like a circle stage, and you walked up and the poles were like along the edge of the stage, like see-through, and they had like air bubbles and they had lights. So basically you weren't doing any tricks. I just kind of like swayed on these poles and tried to be as confident as I could. And it was the house mom and the manager who were watching me the whole entire time. And the manager was a man, and I felt so awkward. But I just, I think I took a shot before everything, and then she was talking to the manager. They were talking a little bit. The manager walked away. She pulled me down from the stage and she said, "Okay, you're in." And yeah, pretty much the rest is history. So yeah, that's how I became a dancer. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm not the best at telling stories. I don't know why. Especially like, I don't know, I kind of get all over the place, but yeah, my hair is driving me nuts. So unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, obviously the strip clubs are closed. So I'm going to be trying to do a lot of story times about dancing. I have a couple. I have about like 13, 14, something like that, videos that I want to film. They're very chill, they're very laid back. Story times, like I said, I wasn't allowed to do much when I was young, so I don't have like a lot of crazy story times. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget, you guys, to put little money bags on the bottom to show your support if you don't have like anything to comment. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys for the next video.